fly through this. We've been doing a lot of interviews lately, and we've been doing kind of overviews, even during the daytime. You know, I fell into the trap of thinking, we're in Huntington Beach. Our unemployment's at 7.4%. You know, people are making a little bit more money in Huntington Beach. The people that weren't moved out of Huntington Beach, and they're living somewhere else. And so you get to thinking, well, you know, maybe this is a tough area. Maybe this is a, and you start, your thinking gets off. It's just the same as health. Everybody's on vacation. Well, yeah, everybody's on vacation. That's when you can really see them, right? So it's the same thing. I just needed to learn how to explain what we do better. You know, I don't know if you remember, well, some of you remember when Mario came up in his first month, he recruited 10 people just because he was super excited. He didn't know what, he tried to explain it to us, and we didn't even know what the heck he was talking about. But he recruited 10 people, and he was fired up. It took him a couple years to figure out how to explain it, and now he's really exploded. He's doing great. Well, you know, I'm working with Justine a lot right now. She's at 5 recruits so far for the month. She'll hit 10 probably this month. She's only been with us. Personal, yeah. She's only been with us for maybe 90 days, 60 days, 90 days. Anyway, she's not licensed yet. How about that? She's still waiting for the state of California to issue one. So what's worked with her is I just taught her how to explain how we get started. How to explain, how to answer questions. If you can just answer, and they don't ask that many, there's only a few questions. If you just explain, I learned this a while ago, I put it on PowerPoint, but we draw it out. She just draws it out on a piece of paper, okay? But I'll fly through this real quick and see if it helps you. If there's a line or two in there that you can add to what you're doing, awesome, okay? So basically, I say, you know, how do we get started? We're in the highest regulated industry in the United States, yet we're all licensed professionals, right? So you have to get licensed. If you know anything about licensing, all right, and it doesn't matter whether it's a contractor's license or a driver's license, it all involves the same thing, okay? You go to a class, you pay a fee to the state, you pass an exam, you get a license, right? Our industry is the same way. So what we do, we submit an application to the state. We deal in a lot of different areas, so there's a lot of licenses, a lot of fees, and a lot of classroom hours in our industry. But at Primerica, we pick up that license cost, okay? So right away, their eyes just opened up, okay? Because their heart just sunk for a second, right, and then it just opened back up, right? We pick up those fees, and it's not a lot of classroom hours. Let me show you exactly how we transition it, okay? Basically, what we do is we get people that are stuck in a box where there's limited growth, right? Love to be in a place like Primerica where there's no lid, where they could really see what they could do. Nobody's going to hold them back. But they don't know how to get from here to there, and they definitely don't want to do it with any risk, okay? So you can imagine on your piece of paper, just drawing a box and drawing this and just making an arrow. This doesn't have to be all professional, okay? It just has to make sense to it, right? Well, we do it in 3 steps, okay? We get you trained and licensed while you're still in the box, okay? With us, it's only a 4-day class. Don't you wish all your college classes were like that? Right? I might have actually got a degree. So, and by the way, the more little one-liners like that you throw in there, the better. Okay, you're building positive momentum, all right? We licensed more people last year than the whole rest of the industry combined. Okay, so they allow us to facilitate our own classes. And I just tell them, you know, our office is a regional training licensing center. We do those classes here. It's only 4 days. You can knock it out and it's done. One-time requirement. All we ask from people working with us is if they just pay for half of that class, just to reserve their seat in the class and process the application, we'll pay the other half, and we'll pay all the licensing fees, and then we'll bonus back their half when they're done getting trained. So it's only a $200 class. So they pay $99, we pay the other part, we do all that stuff, and it's bonus back once you're done getting trained. Okay, and I'll explain that in a second. The other thing is our technology is off the hook. Okay, we're on iPads and iPhones and Androids and laptops, and it's unbelievable the technology we have. In fact, and I've never actually used Primerica Ring, but I use it as an example all the time. So I say this. I could be with a client in San Francisco, my little pictures on one side, their little pictures on there, like Skype. And everybody's like, okay, yeah, Skype, right? All their financial information is between us. We could be talking about this stuff. If they want a hard copy, I PDF it, drop it on their face. It pops up in their thing. If they want to do business, they take their mouse and they sign. That's sick. On the computer, right? Yep. And everybody's like, wow, yeah. Well, to be at that level of technology costs a lot of money. And usually what companies do is they'll charge agents because they're surely not going to raise prices to the clients, right? Well, what our company did, I don't know who figured this out, but we have 100,000 agents at our company. So our company worked with the top phone companies, AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and Sprint, and negotiated lower phone plans with all of us. So for example, I have AT&T, my phone plan dropped 24%, I think it was, okay? And then we just do a pass-through to the company to offset that cost. It's only $25, which is the wrong button. Okay, $25, which is like a bad meal, right? But we have an offset for that, and it's a write-off, and now my whole phone's a write-off, which is a whole other topic. But I don't know who figured that out, but the fact that there's no real expense, I think is incredible. In fact, my plan dropped by more than $25 because I have teenagers. All right, so training, I remember, you just throw those little one-liners and people laugh like you guys did. Works all the time. Then you can work with this part-time while you're still in the box. Maybe you've never done anything like this before. And you want to make sure, I want to make sure I could really do this, right? Maybe you never had a compensation plan like this before and you want to make sure it delivers. I can tell you all day long this thing delivers, but that doesn't mean you're going to believe me. You don't even know me. I could be saying anything, right? So we don't have any secrets here. We'll let you figure it out for yourself. But if you can make 30 grand part-time, right, you can go full-time without any risk. Because you already know what you can make. You already know what you can do. Does that make sense? Okay? And what about people? Now, I do this in our little company overview, okay? So I'll tailor this to whoever, if I'm doing an interview, to whatever their situation is, because maybe they're not working, all right? But in our overview, I say, listen, we also work with students. We'll intern them. They can work with us. By the time they graduate, they've got a career, they've got money going on. It's the same process, okay? They're just doing it while they're in school. And because, they're calling it the jobless generation, right? They go to school, they get a degree, and then they move back in with mom and dad, right? Well, now these guys that are working with us, intern, they get fully licensed, they have a career, they have money that they're already earning while they're still in school. They leave school, they're in a full career. And so all the students' eyes are like opening up, right? And then I said, what if you don't even have a job? Right? And you're like, well, I don't know if I can put all my eggs in this basket. Have you ever said, well, I think I need to get a job before I make a commitment to you? Have you ever heard anybody say that?
Yeah.
I just need to take care of this short thing right now. Okay, I don't have that conversation in front of everybody. I was just asking you. But this is what I say. I go, what if you don't even have a job? I've never met anybody that spends 8 hours a day looking for a job. You can't. In today's day and age, it's all electronic. You blast out your resume, you get scattered interviews, right? So take 6 hours a day to look for a job. Give us 2 hours. We'll train you, we'll license you, we'll get you prepared. What if you find another job in the next 30 days? Great, take it. Work with us part-time, and we'll make sure you're never in this situation ever again. Right? And this is where I throw the spare tire in. Because you've got a spare tire for your car, right? You don't ever intend to have a flat, but you have one just in case. Right? Doesn't it make sense in today's day and age to have a spare tire for your career? That if your career blows out on you, you've got something else to fall back on. And people that are out of work already are nodding like crazy. All right? So I said, well, what if you don't find a job in the next 30, 60 days? There are people out of work for a year, 2 years. Now you got a full-blown career, you're going, and you never have to stop. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So that's how I do that. I explain it real quick, and then I say, plus, we'll bonus you for training. Okay? Now we have part-time and full-time staff. So in order to get both staffs together at one time, we do training in off hours. So for us, we do, our training is Friday night from 7 to 9. I know you guys do Tuesday or Thursday or whenever, right? And then we also have additional new associate training on Saturday mornings from 8 to 10, just to help people get up to speed, because you've never done anything like this before, stuff like that. But it usually fits in most people's schedule. Okay? Then we're going to do some practice training appointments. It's one thing for me to do presentations. It's another thing for you to see it live. Right? I mean, you're going to be like, to see some families really be helped, you're going to be like, oh man, I could do this. Or you're going to say, hey, this isn't what I thought. Either way, I'd rather you find that out sooner than later. Right. We're not about wasting time. Right? So we're going to do about 4 training appointments. You're going to watch 4 families being helped. By the time we're done, you're going to help one of them. So we're going to do all the work up front. You're just going to take notes. Then we're going to do part of the work. You're going to do part of the work. And then you're going to do all the work, and we're going to be there to help you. It's like on-the-job training. It's very systematic. We've become experts at transitioning people, and we just move you through that process. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. For those of you interested in leadership roles with our company, which is like everybody we talked about, by the way, right? Who's not interested in leadership? But for those of you interested in leadership roles, we have very aggressive leadership development training. Okay, we are aggressively developing leaders right now because we have so many people coming in. We need some people to train those people, okay? So in leadership training, we put you in leadership training, and we start working with about 4 new associates. We'll train and develop those people for you until you're comfortable enough to take them over, okay? And then we have that 4-day life insurance class that I mentioned before, and you have to pass a life exam. Now let me tell you something about passing the exam. You need a 60% to pass it in the state of California, which is a D-, okay? So we don't have a lot of problems with people failing it. But just like your driver's exam, if you do fail it, you can take it over and over and over again until you pass, okay? And when you complete all of that, we'll give you a $1,000 bonus, plus any compensation you earn, because in auto and homeowners and in our debt programs and legal areas, you don't need an individual license, so you can operate under our branch license. So in those areas, you just get certified and you can start generating some income right away, okay? But when you complete that, we'll give you a $1,000 bonus. Now, you're a district manager position for part-time, $2,500 to $5,000 in income. And at that point, when you can do that comfortably, you might consider going full-time. And that's what we do.
Nice.
So, by the way, I always get nailed for the district manager thing because we're not allowed to say that. And I always just say, I'm sorry, I forget.
District leader.
I know, we're really district leaders. I just forgot. I'm sorry. All right, so I've been reprimanded.
Yeah. Did you just record that?
Somebody record that?
Give me
that.
Create a folder on Dropbox and put that Tom Kellis' video on there, and then we'll put that PowerPoint on there too, and then RVP, you guys will have that.